At a young age, it feels like almost every kid loves to build stuff.
Lego building set 566.
Sandcastles, blocks, toy houses, forts, you name it. But once we grow up, our fascination with construction seems to fade out.
This is boring.
Stats show that only half of Canadians would recommend the construction industry to their kids or loved ones. And because of this, the construction field is having a hard time attracting new talent. With the aging population and the lack of interest in construction, there's a major workforce shortage crisis for the past few decades. The situation's become even more critical with the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Canadian Construction Association predicts a need for more than 113,000 workers by 2027.
Right now, we simply don't have enough workers.
If this labor shortage isn't fixed, it could lead to delays in major infrastructure projects, roads, hospitals, and bridges. These issues are not just industry specific. They're key factors in Canada's housing and economic crises. So what's holding the younger generation back from going into construction, and how can we change this situation? The root of the problem seems to be in the negative misconceptions that the majority of the population has about the construction industry.
There is this stereotype that they're in the trades because they couldn't cut it anywhere else. They couldn't make it in university. They dropped out of high school. They went down a dark path, and this is the only thing they could get.
People, when they think of construction, they think about injuries, they think about hard labor, working outside in the sun.
They always think it's a dirty job.
They have their opinions on it, I guess you could say.
They think you're just swinging a hammer around, but there's a lot more that goes into it.
They just don't know what it is, like the full extent of how far it goes.
Young workers are influenced by their families and what their families' perceptions of the construction industry have been, and very little support existed for those people. So the reality of today's construction industry is very different.
This is Brent Kaesler from OYAP, one of the many apprenticeship programs across Canada. He recruits high school students to careers in skilled trades, so most of the hands-on jobs on a construction site.
Those old stereotypes about the trades where back-breaking labor, that's no longer the case. Thankfully, students today going in the apprenticeship pathway are well supported and doing so in a very safe environment. I've seen thousands of workplaces, and every single one, the first consideration is health and safety. We have labor laws in place, and amazing support and protective equipment. Things as simple as electric lifts to move the pallets of brick and stone that used to be moved around by hand.
The trades, being hands-on, being in a constant state of movement, having a constant change, something is always happening. That is where most of us thrive. But it's completely misunderstood in the fact that we're dumb, because we're not.
Ever since I was little, I already wanted to go into the construction industry.
I liked it before I started the program, and I like it now.
You're right on the tools, cutting wood, lifting stuff.
I really enjoy working with my hands.
I have been talking about it for a long time.
A lot of families see the university or college pathway as that gold standard. Biggest challenge right now is getting the message out to parents that apprenticeship is the same as college. You're getting that same post-secondary learning.
When I was in high school, I joined the only construction class my high school offered, and my guidance counselor said no.
Wow.
He told me I'm too smart to go into the trades.
God! Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for the advice.
This is something that we put a lot of effort to challenge, because skilled trades require skilled workers. It's a different way of learning, but it's challenging. Mentally, those academic excelling students will excel in the trades. There is a huge demand for it.
We're constantly using trigonometry. I'm plotting things on graphs. I'm trying to figure out voltage. I'm using Pythagorean theorem. There are so many different ways that we use math alone in the trades. You know, like some of the smartest people I know are in the trades.
I'll give an example of the Red Seal as an apprenticeship. It means you are a master of that trade on equal footing to a master's degree.
A Red Seal is basically the highest ranking a Canadian skilled worker can have, after completing a certain number of working hours and levels of studies. It shows that you're the master of that trade, letting you work in any province in Canada. The Red Seal's even recognized by many other countries, and it helps you get hired around the world.
Not only are there no costs towards pursuing the apprenticeship pathway, it's a pathway where you actually get paid to learn on your journey. So having no debt and entering into a field with very high wages mean a lot of success in this field. So we often show a graph that compares a Bachelor of Education university pathway to an apprenticeship pathway financially. So after 4 years, the average Ontario University student has around $30,000 in debt, where a student who spent those 4 years on a carpentry pathway, you could have $250,000 earned. $30,000 debt versus $250,000 in your bank account are stats that matter to students and parents. So that helps change that misconception.
T-Boss.
Yes, thank you.
Now, it's clear that the trades do have good conditions for their workers. But what about the less physical jobs in construction?
The construction industry, it's not just going on sites, doing manual labor, working in trades. There's so much more to it than that.
That's Courtney Mance, Campus Canada lead at Pomerleau, one of the biggest construction companies in Canada. She's in charge of recruiting young workers for internships like engineers and project managers, mostly from universities and colleges from coast to coast.
There's a lot of focus right now being put in AI integration, robotics, BIM modeling, tons of really, really cool things that students and young people in general don't know about. We go into colleges and universities and talk more about the industry and where the industry is headed. Students will come up to us after and say, I thought it was just a construction company.
I enjoy the variety in it.
There's a lot of people here that are like, they want to go into architecture, but now they're like maybe engineering.
There's multiple types of things you could do in construction. It's not just one type.
Whether you are visiting the site or whether you're meeting with clients.
You're getting to know more people, you're getting to know more things.
You build bonds with people. Kind of feels like home wherever you go.
When young people join, project managers want to hear their ideas because they know that they think of things differently. And I think that that's something that motivates a lot of students.
That's exactly the case for Victoria Cinelli, a student in architectural technology at Vanier College. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So tell me about your story from studying health sciences to architectural technologies.
When I was in high school, the thing to do in a sense was to be part of the medical field. I did really well in those classes, and so that obviously boosted my confidence. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Like, this is gonna be easy peasy. Let me put myself through the medical field and let me make a lot of money. That was the big light bulb on top of my head. When I got into the health science program, it was very interesting, but I realized that through the medical field, you don't develop that artistic aspect. I felt as though the program itself completely stripped me away from my qualities and what I had to offer to the world, essentially. I knew that wasn't the path paved for myself.
Victoria's studying to become an architectural technologist, where she will have to combine several skills on technology, design, architecture, and building requirements.
The architectural program has an artistic standpoint with still having that technical aspect to it. The building you're trying to design has to make sense. You don't want to just build anything. And so that really pulled out the best of myself. There's so much more to the construction industry than actually building the physical building. You could go at an architectural firm if you wish. You can do landscaping, you do estimation. You're given the freedom to be self-made. And I think that's what I'm really looking forward to being in the construction industry.
New card. What do you think?
Whoa.
That's right. Victoria could be running her own architecture company in a not-so-distant future. And the opportunity to start your own business goes for the skilled trades as well.
It's a normal route to go from physical worker, apprentice worker, to slowly becoming more the boss. And then all of a sudden, you're not a carpenter anymore. You're a kind of a contractor businessman, slowly kind of getting off the tools.
This is Scott Jeske, carpenting teacher at Construct Plus, a vocational school that teaches construction-based trades such as painting, plumbing, welding, and carpentry.
You can go into carpentry and just do formwork, you don't really know anything else. So for me, it was a great opportunity to do all different types of things. I worked a bit as a superintendent, I worked a bit as a foreman, I worked a lot as a carpenter. Within those jobs, there's all different areas to go to. So a welder might end up working in a shop full-time, or he might be a guy that goes on the sites and does welding. Same with cement. There's cement finishing, cement formwork. You have tile guys, you have carpenters, electricians, plumbers. They can literally pick and choose what they want.
Are you offering me a choice?
There's a huge lack of manpower in Canada.
Build, baby, build.
So the government's doing whatever they can to get more and more people on the jobs. They finish the school year, the unions come in and they say, what do you want to do? Do you want to do steel studs? Do you want to frame houses? Do you want to do formwork? For me as a carpenter, it's very rewarding because at the end of the day, you can turn around and say, hey, I built all this stuff.
You're actually creating things that are tangible. You can show people it's everywhere, right? The building of roads, the maintaining of our infrastructure, the state of our schools and our buildings, the things we take for granted. We rely on tradespeople in the construction industry to keep all of this operating well, and that's how our society functions.
Sustainability is a massive area right now for a lot of construction companies. And when I go into conversations with students, the answer is they want to drive down the street one day in 20 years, point at a building and say, I was part of building that.
We have to think of it in a different way now on how to build. We can't just do it how we used to. There's a lot more issues that we have to take into consideration. And having a more progressive mindset in terms of trying to build sustainably to make a healthier future for us. What more to give back than people's homes?
You must see this house, dear. Oh, this is such a wonderful house.
It would be nice to give back to community, whether it's building hospitals, schools.
You're not only constructing buildings, but also help into making a better place and space for the community around you.
Lighting in a space you don't really think about on your day-to-day, but I have family members who have epilepsy, and there's certain factors that for these people it does impact them.
I come from a country that has been into a war, so I wanted to be a part of the industry so I can rebuild my country.
If any little part of that topic interests you, I would say go for it.
Try it out.
You can do it.
Don't be afraid.
You have nothing to lose.